There was a reason why Ology was murdered. Crime had a clear motive. There's evidence here that points to it. That is what you're looking for. Okay. It is Crate C. Crate C. This is the evidence. This crate here is empty. The killer must have stolen what was inside. And what do you think was inside that crate? It was the, oh, okay. It was the thingy. Oops, I had to burp. I wonder what deductions does. Let me click here. Oops. Back to the crime scene. Crate C's contents. Written notes. Here it is. It was a stone idol in there. That's what were in the crate. In other words, Ology was murdered so the killer could steal the stone idol. No, it's not right this what you say. The Diablo in the stone figure, it breaks out from crate himself. Then it kills Senor Archie. Because the Senor, he trespassed in an ancient place. For this he is punished by gods. That thing were made of stone, it couldn't move on its own, you chump. No, the stone Diablo, it kills the Senor. See, Senor Archie, his life is taken by the stone figure. Hey, there's no talking to some folk, is there? I was intending to wait until the report came back for forensics, but maybe we'll do things differently. I think it's time to demonstrate that the killer in this case was very definitely human. Over to you, Lucy. Okay. The killer is... interesting. Wait, what? We're here already? Wait, what? What? Huh? The perpetrator of this crime who killed Archaeology and stole the stone idol could not have been a demon. No, the killer is human, but a human that possesses the heart of a demon. Haha, it's not possible. The killer cannot be human. It's making no sense. It's impossible. The Senor, he must be killed by Diablo. It's the only way. This lad's getting more and more worked up, Prof. He's cracking. He's certainly determined to make us believe it was the work of a demon. It's not what I want you to believe. It's because you must believe, because it is truth. The stone figure with the Diablo inside that breaks out from the wooden box. It kills Senor Archie and it escapes through the window. Even Senor Archie say it's a Diablo, no? He shouts it in the telephone. Aye, that is what Miss Etista said in her statement, as it happens. I think they'll find that cry was the killer impersonating Dr. Ology. A simple examination of the intercom by the door would make that immediately clear, Lucy, would you? This intercom here, Prof. This is the only way to contact the front desk from within that hut, hey. Yes, and if it were Dr. Ology, and if Dr. Ology had indeed screamed for the help in the intercom, something would be very amiss. Do you know what that is? Oh, the prints have been wiped off the intercom. Okay. Yes. It's because the fingerprints have been wiped off, isn't it, eh? Ology would hardly have wiped off his own print if it were in the middle of being attacked by a demon. And surely no demon would be concerned with wiping its victim's fingerprints away. I say nothing. No, it's pretty plain to see. The scream down the intercom was a killer impersonating Dr. Ology. Whoever it was knew he wouldn't be found out on account of the poor sound quality. And that's not all. There's evidence on the scene that contradicts the possibility that the demon broke out of the crate itself. Do you know what that evidence is? 3 crates were opened. That's immediately what I was thinking. The 3 crates were opened because the killer couldn't read. If the stone idol broke itself out of its crate, then how come there's 3 crates with lids off, eh? It is because... See, because the force, it is too much. I don't think so. The killer didn't know what was inside each crate. So he opened the crates one by one until he located the stone idol. Maybe the Diablo is making a person do these things for it. You just won't let this Diablo thing go, will you? Demons like that of which you speak do not exist. What do exist are humans with demons in their hearts. Who has the demonic heart in this case, Lucy? Why don't you enlighten us? Okay. It is you, Senor Coretta. Apologies, Killua. You, Mr. Coretta. Muchacha, it's hurt me very much for you to say this. If it's true and someone is taking the stone figure, why you think it's me? You have something evidence that I am killer? Certainly we do. Along with one other piece of evidence, the 3 open crates heavily implicate you in this crime. Without additional evidence, the truth is blindingly obvious. Hey, is it? Let me give you a hint. It has to do with the biscuits that you brought us as a gift, Mr. Coretta. The crates and blank give the killer away. The written notes. This is the evidence. Which crate contained the stone idol were written plain as day on the open page of this notebook. But despite that, the killer opened the 3 of them before he got to the crate over there with the idol in it. In other words, the killer can't read. And that, Mr. Coretta, points the finger pretty well straight at you. We found your fingerprints all over the notebook. So we know that without question that you saw what was written in it. But since you can't read, it didn't help you. You were none the wiser as to the location of the idol. Okay. See, this is true. Hey, you're fessing up just like that? You, Senor Layton, and you, muchacha, are very clever. You admit to the crime. See, I killed the senor. I put the axe between his eyes. How could you do something that grim? How? Because, Senor Archie, he say he take the stone figure away. Even if I give him the special liquor from my people, he no listen to what I say. Is then when I no know what to do, I hear the voice. A voice? See, the voice of the Diablo. Here we go again. I give you my power. Kill the one who trespasses in my temple, it say. So I do what the voice tell me. I leave the door of the hut locked, and I pass through the walls. To no be there no more. Is the power of Diablo in me. Give over. You can't just pass through walls. That just doesn't happen. See, and the way the dead senor he moved is the Diablo as well. Big Senor Sasukasa, he run away shaking and screaming like a muchacha is very funny. What you describe is impossible. No, it's possible even to explain these things if you don't believe in this Diablo. Aye, it is. You could have taken the door off its hinges and... It's a telephone for you. Hey, I bet it's forensics. They were forensics, Prof, with their report. They've been over that hut door with a fine-tooth comb, they said. But there's no way the hinges could have been tampered with, apparently. They had adhesive on. I see. Apparently the owner said a screw were missing the few days earlier, so he drowned the hinges in glue. Mr. Sasukasa has given a statement to that effect now. Huh. So does that mean it can't have been Mr. Coretta that done it then? See? So it's okay if I leave now. I still no see the Buckingham Palace. And I have to buy some gifts for Mariana and everyone in the village. You're happy just letting him go like that, are you, Prof? Don't worry, we'll have a man on him. In any case, we can't detain him until we solve the mystery. Aye, and we can't pin it on him while he's going out and about this demon doing it, eh? Now we've got to get to the bottom of this one. Yes, there are 2 remaining points that we can't explain. How Coretta managed to disappear from a locked room, and how, as we've been led to believe, the corpse came back to life. So, it's back to the crime scene, Lucy, till we find some answers. The murderer vanished, and walking corpse. So, where do we start? Let's start with the walking corpse, because I know how it was done. It seems too incredible to believe that there are 2 witnesses who saw the corpse lunge forward. Were it really a demon at work, do you think? No, it can't be. It was an elaborate illusion, I'm sure. Aye, that's got to be it. An illusion. And the person behind the illusion will almost certainly have left a trail of evidence, no matter how small. And And that's what we've got to find, right, Prof? Yes. I wonder if his wife was an accomplice. Because I know... Wait, where is it? It's not here. It should be here. Or was it here? Here it is. Fishing tackle. Here's the fishing... Okay. Failed to see how the evidence could explain how the corpse was made to move. No, sorry. I'll think again. Okay. Let me look at his... Is that on the corpse? Here we go. Here's the first spot. What? How... What? I don't... Oh. I found... rafter damage? Huh. There's a notch in one of the beams that support the hut from the roof. Apparently... Okay, created by a thin wire or something. And here... Alright. Well, let's point these out. That certainly points to the sort of illusion I'm thinking of. If I'm right, there should be another similar piece of evidence nearby. Okay. So, I was on the right track. They just wanted me to point on something. They just wanted me to point something else out. Here, Prof, what do you think these nicks on the beams up here in the rafter? They look like they were made by a thin rope or wire of some sort. Very suspicious. Aren't they just? What do you think caused notches like these, Lucy? Fishing line. Fishing line. Okay. It was the fishing line that rubbing on the beam that made the notches. I've come to the same conclusion. Somebody threaded the line over the beams and pulled them with considerable force. And there must have been something heavy on the other end of the line to counteract the force of the pull. Of course, we all know what that was, don't we, Lucy? It was attached to the door. Yes? No? Oh, yes. The corpse, of course. Well, it was the body tied to the end of the line, weren't it? What else? Indeed. The fishing line were passed over the rafters and was tied to the corpse. That explains how the killer made something spectacular appear to happen, which was, of course, made the body move. By tying the fishing line to Ology's dead body and giving it a good tug just at the right time, the killer made it look like the fellow moved even though he was dead. Correct, which solves the mystery of the walking corpse. But that doesn't solve how they moved it without being noticed. I guess that's not very important. Coretta claimed that he passed straight through the hut walls using some sort of demonic power, but we all know that such things do not exist. Maybe not, but the door and window were off the table and all. So how did the lad do it then? Well, if the hut was genuinely locked from the inside, it only leaves one possible conclusion. He hid himself inside the hut? Oh, that would explain why. Okay. After he did Ology, and Coretta must have hid himself somewhere inside the hut. Very good, Lucy. I've come to the exact same conclusion. Aye, that must be it. But where could he have hidden inside such a tiny place as that, eh? That's the question now. Perhaps we can identify some traces of evidence that show where Coretta was hiding, don't you think? Where could he have been hiding? I guess behind the signs. Proof that Coretta hid in the hut. Oh, here we go. The stain on the floor. This mark on the floor is a bit of an odd shape. I don't suppose it's related to where Coretta hid himself, eh? It's an unusual shape, you're right, but it looks like something must have been in the way of whatever spilled. So let's try to think of what might have made the spillage take this kind of shape. Well, the signs. Here we go. It must have been one of these big signs. Must have been put here and got in the way of whatever split. Judging by their size and shape, though, none of them could have stood up alone. They would have been resting on something. Any ideas, Lucy? I guess the coat hook. I can't think of what else. I guess it does reach the coat hook. Sun must have been resting on the coat hook. In that position, it would have been in the way of the liquor that spilt, making the stain take a peculiar shape. Such a large sign would have been perfectly big enough to hide a person from view. So that's that then, eh? Coretta were in the hut the whole time, hiding behind the sign, eh? Let's have a think about when the liquor could have been spilled before we draw any conclusions. Here we go. Knocked over the bottle when they came in. Okay. Must have been when the dead fellow moved. He must have knocked over the liquor. That's what I had concluded, which tells us the sign must have been propped up on the hook at the point where the corpse moved. Then someone must have put the sign back where it were after that happened. Precisely. The sign is the answer to the mystery of how the hut was locked from the inside. Okay. So, he just hid behind the sign. Alright. That's it? Huh. Something doesn't seem entirely correct. But we just haven't explained that there definitely had to be an accomplice here. Oh, my bad. Yes, and Mr. Coretta admitted himself that he killed Ology. There's no way he can talk his way out of it now. So it looks like we've solved this one without getting you, all worked up. Yes. Well, that's a bonus. Right, time to get Coretta back then, eh? So how was your excursion to Buckingham Palace? There's no season to see inside, they say. It's a big problem for me. Mariana, she is always looking forward to my pictures. I don't want to make her sad, that's why I climb over a fence. But the policia, he no like this. He brings me back to you. And by prof, you were right to stick a tail on him. It would seem so, yes. You no need me? If it's okay, I'd like to see more of your beautiful city. We do need you for something, Mr. Coretta, eh? You see, we figured out how you did it. But I tell you already. I killed Signor Ology with axe and I am disappearing through the wall. I'm afraid that can't be. Humans simply can't pass their walls. If it's not true, how can it be, Signor Layton? Allow us to take you through the events of that night, one step at a time. It was your fake cry for help that, over the intercom, that brought Mr. Sasukasa and Miss Atista to the hut. When they got there, they found the door were locked, and there could be no question about that. Absolutely, and the one and only uncopyable key was in the victim's pocket. So Mr. Sasukasa was left with no choice but to break down the door to gain entry to the hut. Inside, he found only the grim corpse of archaeology, and no sight of his killer. See, it's like this, because already I am passing through the walls and leaving this place. I don't believe that's the truth. I believe the perpetrator of this crime was still inside the hut. Lucy, could you care to tell Mr. Coretta exactly where in the hut the culprit was? He was in the corner of the hut. Yes. Okay. The killer was hiding in the corner of the room. Hey, muchacha. You know, listen to when the senor he say what he saw inside the hut, eh? He say, no one is inside but this corpse. No one, nada. That's not quite right. Mr. Sasukasa said he did not see the killer in the room. But though he failed to see the killer was in fact inside. Thanks to a certain obstruction, he was hidden from view. An obstruction in the form of signs. Kaboom! Oh, a whopping great sign! You propped the thing up against a coat hook onto the wall and made yourself a nice little hidey hole. Mr. Sasukasa's statement says he was sure no one else was in the hut because there was nowhere to hide. But it's precisely this preconception that meant he wasn't even looking for you. What you say is just a guess, senor. You make up stories. There's no possible to confirm what you say. I beg to differ. You were definitely hiding in the hut when Mr. Sasukasa and Mrs. Tisa came in. We have a piece of evidence and a statement to prove it. Lucy, would you do the honors? Here it is, the local liquor. And your own wife's statement. Or girlfriend, I forgot. It's the liquor that's spilt on the floor that proves it. The only way it could have made a straight line like this is if the sign stood in the way when it spilled. And Miss Atisa's statement confirms that the liquor was knocked over when the corpse lunged forward. That proves the sign was propped up against the coat hook when she and Mr. Sasakasa burst into the hut. See? So, it's no way to say someone is behind sign just because is there. Can you prove this? Oh, you cheeky so-and-so. This means the corpse, we know it moves, see? Or the liquor is not going to speak. Only the Diablo can make the corpses move. Oops. Lucy, tell Mr. Crater what was used to give the illusion of the corpse coming back to life. It was the fishing tackle. The killer tied some fishing line to Ology's dead body. I'm gonna use my mouse instead, because by giving it a tug from the other side of the room, it pulled the corpse up from the chair and made it lunge forwards. No, you see these fishing lines if they... No, you see these fishing lines if they tie to the dead senor. You see them and you know it's a trick. Not necessarily. Why didn't the witnesses know? Oh, it was dark. Right, that's what... Here we go. Wait, no. Here it is. Here it is. It was dark. Mr. Sasakasa said in a statement that it was dark inside the hut. Thin translucent fishing line in a dark room and a corpse with an axe lodged in the skull. Faced with such a shocking spectacle, it would be very easy to miss the clear thin lines. You only imagine what you want. Is no evidence for this, what you say. Oh, why? We have evidence, alright? And it is the rafter damage. There's nicks made by the fishing line in the rafters of the hut. And by considering the position of the notches, we can infer where the killer was standing to pull the line. You see, we know the killer's location was not in the rafters, in a corner of the hut, yes. Because under the rafters, yes. Following the line from the body over to the beams where the nicks are, you get to the corner of the hut. The same corner that was hidden from view behind the sign that were resting on the coat hook. It's a compelling proof that the killer, in other words, you, Mr. Kreda, were hiding there behind the sign. See, I just do it like he's telling me to do, like you were told. See, I hear the voice of the Diablo. He's telling me if I do everything like she tell me, it's gonna be okay. Oh, I've had enough of this Diablo mumbo jumbo. He's no mumbo jumbo, it's true, I hear the voice of Diablo. This is taking too long, I can't hold it. Well. Hey, Prof. Oh, I believe you, Kreda. Oh, crikey, here we go. Demons are real, and all around us. You picked a fine time to turn up and start prattling. You don't know, Lucy. Carefully led, the man can be a crazed killer. Yet without direction, he is nothing but a mere puppet. Puppet? You mean marionetta? Who you say is marionetta? I'm talking about you. You steal and even kill all because of this demon's voice. See, we must listen to the Diablo. If no, he's gonna make our curse in village. Idiot. Demons are illusions living in the minds of the weak. Illusions have no powers to curse. First you say demons exist, and then you say they're illusions. Which is it, Prof? Make up your mind. Never mind, Lucy. You obviously failed to understand. There's one point we need to make clear. This Diablo voice whispering in your ear, Coretta, that was most certainly no demon. It was a human. A human that you could see there was a demon. A human that could see there was a demon inside you already. A human that knew just a suggestive murmur to that inner demon of yours could persuade you to slay Ology. Is no human, is Diablo. Surely you can see who it was now, Lucy. Who was the voice of the demon that spoke to Coretta? It was his own fiance, yes. Ha! Got it right. It was Miss Atista, wasn't it? Weren't it? That's who the demon really was. Aye, she knew better than anyone, did she, Mr. Creda? She was behind the whole thing. No, it's no posible. It's the voice of the Diablo, it's no Mariana. Oh, but it was. It was Atista on the other end of the intercom, listening to you faking Ology's cries for help. See, it's true, I come to the hotel to make them come for Senor Ology. It's Mariana who's picking up at the other end, but I know this is only by chance. You say the sound quality on the intercom was poor. Yet you instantly recognize the person you were speaking to as Atista. See, it's normal, I know my novia. We are going marrying together. Oh, I know. So you'd think she could tell the difference between her fiancé and a quinquagenarian. Your two voices would have been very different indeed. See, it's different, but I am making imitation of the Senor. Tell me, Caretta, why are you here? Why England? Why now? Is because Mariana, she... Oh yes, of course, Mariana. She suggested you come, didn't she? She suggested it just when the investigation into the murder was being reopened. Is by chance. It's only by chance. You've seen my little crime scene reconstruction toy, haven't you? Collecting the data for it is a pain. It takes a great deal of the time at the original scene of the crime. There would have been a lot of activity. It would have been quite impossible for Sasukasa's hotel staff to not get wind of what was going on. It's no Mariana, it's no her. She is nothing in this crime, nada. Steady on, Prof. He's getting a bit... What, something wrong? Somehow your voice isn't quite in line with the bravado of your masks anymore. Cállate, quiet. That's enough, Prof. You know it's true, you even blurted it out yourself when we unraveled all your little tricks. If I do everything like she tells me, you said. No, please no. You know the truth, you've known for some time. The demon's voice you heard was the voice of your fiancée, Mariana Atista. She used you like a pawn in her devilish games. Ugh. Stop it now, Prof, come on. Quiet, Lucy. Curses, it's just about to... it's just getting interesting. Ah, jeez. Is the Prof okay? Yeah, it'll be alright. Miss Six looking after him. I reckon you'll wake up after long. Aye, how with that worried? No sense worrying, Lucy. Nothing we can do. Anyway, don't you want to know what happened with the case? Oh, I don't know. Probably should be focusing on minding the Prof, but... Do I ever? Knew you wouldn't be able to resist. Well, there's Kareda, first off. The bloke said it's nutty as a fruitcake, so he ain't been a fat lot of help with the investigation. Hey, I bet getting any new info out of him is about as likely as me getting a promotion. So that left the Atista bird. Well, the local law tried to find her and bring her in for questioning, but she was long gone, taking all her belongings and opted. I wouldn't mind betting she was planning that from the start. Yeah, maybe, but that ain't all, you know. Turns out Atista weren't her real name at all. No one knows nothing about her. She's a total enigma. Give over, really? Oh yeah, she's only turned up in the village there about half a year ago. And there were me thinking that she and Kareda must have been childhood sweethearts. Hang on. So you're saying Kareda's only been learning English for 6 months? Suppose must have been, yeah. That's some kind of black magic in itself, eh? And what's become of the stone idol? They ain't found it. They ain't found it, have they? Atista must have made off with it. I don't know. The case is buttoned up, but not fixed. That's how it goes sometimes, love. Anyway, best be getting back to work, I suppose. Oh, why? I wonder how the Prof's getting on. Still, I don't suppose he'd thank me for disturbing him just to ask him how he is. Oh yeah, just one more thing. Bayek, Dusty, you frightened the life out of me. My brother's in the clear now. Oh, that's good. Yeah, he said to say thanks and that. Will you pass it, Al? Of course I will. I'll go tell him right now. Okay. Is that it? Well, that's it for file number 4, the walking corpse. That wasn't so difficult. I felt like that went really quick as well. But that's fine. Next up, file number 5, DJ Swan Song. I'll see you then. Bye everyone.